evening, one and all. Welcome to the Friday Waffle, coming to you on Friday evening. It's a rather, it's actually quite bright outside, though it's been cold. But at least it's not been raining, so every small mercy. I hope you've all had an alright week. I've had a bit of an indifferent week again, just with the work-wise. Still waiting on various systems, be able to access different systems and that kind of stuff. So because of that, still can't really do my job properly, but shouldn't complain. I mean, compared to what I had before, it was just pandemonium. It's been quite quiet, but that'll change, and I hope it does, because at the end of the day, it makes for quite a long day when you've not got an awful lot to do. But so yeah, what have I been doing this week? Have I been up to much? Not a great deal, really. No, I haven't. Not even been playing any. I've not been playing any games. No, don't know what I've been doing, guys. I've been making a few videos. I've been trying to kind of stockpile videos these last kind of few weeks as well. Any opportunity I get at night time, I've been trying to make videos. Listen, before I kind of get into the nitty gritty, thanks very much to all the lovely comments that you've given me since last week's waffle. As anybody that makes videos on YouTube, when you've got to kind of talk like I'm doing at the moment, you've got to be feeling it, and sometimes if things are, if there's things going on in your personal life and you're maybe wee bit down in the dumps or whatever, for any reason at all, maybe feeling a wee bit stressed out about things, it's not always easy to do it. And I think that kind of came across last week. It was quite a negative waffle, and I don't like to do that, but you know me by now, I am one of these people. I do tend to wear my kind of heart on my sleeve. If I've got issues, I'll talk about it. I know I won't go into anything obviously too personal, because at the end of the day, anybody can be watching this. But yeah, I always let you lot know how I'm feeling about stuff. And I think last week there was this excuse me. Yeah, there was just a few bits and pieces going on, and I wasn't really in the mood for doing a Friday waffle, and I think that came over. I think I eventually managed to get into the groove a wee bit and get talking, but largely it was quite difficult. But with that in mind, as I said, I don't know, I think I was just becoming very, very self-aware about the channel and, the way things were going. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I think as of tonight, I think I'm on 2 subscribers below 2,000, which is pretty mental. So sub levels are going up, which is always really nice. But yeah, I think I've been doing a lot of these live streams, which I really do enjoy. It's bizarre because it's just me. I'm effectively talking to myself, but I can see comments down below, so I know you guys are listening. But they are great fun. But I think, like I said, last week, I don't know, I just had this sudden flash of where I was with the YouTube channel. I was thinking to myself, am I starting to sound like a broken record? Am I boring people with what I'm doing? And I think you've always got to try and keep things fresh. I think sometimes lack of content is probably a better thing than too much, because you put out too many videos, people just get fed up of it. Maybe I don't know. I can't really talk because I don't watch my channel. But I do know that I probably put out more videos on a lot of channels that I do watch, and I think if you put out too much, that becomes a bit too much for people. But like I said, yeah, I was having a bit of a lull last week, and I was thinking to myself, I was being very, very self-critical about things, and you go through phases like that. It's like anything in life, anything at all, whether it's relationships, whether it's a job, whether it's a hobby, whether it's going to running, going to football, anything at all. I think we all, life would not be life if you didn't have ups and downs. You have peaks and troughs, and you've just got to try and roll with it and go with the flow. And yeah, at the end of the day, a YouTube channel, it's just a bit of fun. It is fun. I mean, I really do adore having a channel. I love the interaction, and what I thought was really really nice. You know, some of the comments that I was getting, you were saying how you know you lot enjoy the live waffles or live streams, not just because I'm talking or I'm playing games, but it gives you guys a chance to interact. And I think I'm very very fortunate that I've got a great bunch of people that do watch the channel. Yeah, a lot of people, you know, there's maybe only, I don't know, there's maybe only about a dozen people who comment regular, and there's obviously other people that do watch the channel and never comment. It'd be nice actually to see, and this is kind of going out there to those that never comment, if you do watch my channel, you watch my videos, it's always nice to leave a wee comment, because that, it just lets me see that who's actually out there watching it. Because as you know, when you have X number of subscribers, you're only getting about 10% of people actually watching your videos. But the more feedback that you get, it just helps to kind of affirm what you're actually doing is worthwhile. I'm not one of these people who crave attention. I don't want you to send me money. That would be nice. Checks, absolutely. No, I'm not one of these people that, you know, I mean, the thing last week about, oh, my channel's rubbish. Well, I wasn't saying that, but, you know, I'm doing too many, I'm going to knock the waffle on the head because blah, blah, blah. I wasn't doing it for attention. It's never about that at all. I was just genuinely feeling, nah, maybe I need to think about changing things a wee bit. But, yeah, seeing the interaction with people who watch the channel was really nice, you know, and I'm always conscious that because I try and get involved personally with people that watch the channel, that's potentially that could alienate some people who've never watched the channel before. They might think, oh, who is this guy? He's talking to this guy, blah, 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 blah. And that could alienate people. But you know what? At the end of the day, I really don't care. I mean, you know, this thing that I do, I do it for me. It's completely free. You guys don't pay anything to watch it. It's my channel. It's a hobby. And I'll do it the way I want. I mean, I think, and you know, I stand corrected. I think the fact that I do keep it very personal, you know, I like to try and talk to you guys individually, and you know, I've got quite a few using my Facebook and interact on a daily basis, and that's great. That's absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? It's good fun. It's all about making friends and, you know, talking about this hobby of ours. And yeah, I think that personal side of it is possibly what appeals to the people that watch my channel. You know, I don't know, but anyway, you know, I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers, so I must be doing something right. You know, I would never have imagined in a month of Sundays that I would end up getting 2,000 people. 2,000 is a lot of people. Yeah, like I said, I maybe get about, you know, 160, 200 views in a video. That's still a lot of people. You put 2,000 people or even 200 people into a room, that's a lot of people. You know, if I had to stand up in front of you lot and talk, you know, face to face, I would be shitting bricks. It's easy to do it when you're just talking to a phone, you know, but aye, so like I said, thanks again guys. It wasn't a cry for help, it wasn't me trying to look for sympathy, anything like that. I was just telling you how I felt last week. I think the fact that I didn't have many questions as well, sometimes I think to myself, oh, is this a sign that people aren't watching it? You know, I should maybe rethink it. So, I don't know, excuse me a little second, I'll just drink my Great Mum mug. Excuse me. Aye, so anyway, just talking about, was I talking about money? No, I don't think I was. But anyway, money, in fact, you know what it is? There's a question that's going to be coming up in today's waffle. Monetization, believe it or not, and I shit you not, I applied to monetize my channel on the 17th of February, and as of tonight, the channel is still under review, which should be 2.5 months. Now, when you go to the sort of channel thing and it tells you it's on the review, they say that due to the backlog of channels waiting to get reviewed, they reckoned it was going to be the end of April by the time they get them all clear. Well, we're almost at the end of April. Is it tomorrow or the next day? So I don't know. So right now I have still not made a single penny doing this shit. To be perfectly honest with you, if monetising the channel was like ordering something and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, I'd probably cancel it, you know. I think any money, if they do eventually get their arse into gear and monetise my channel, I think any money that I do make is going to be pennies. I really do. Aye. So anyway, listen, before I get going, after my cry for help last week, I've been inundated with questions, which is brilliant. It really is. So thanks in advance to these. So I'm just going to kick right off. First up is Mr. Panther UK. Number one, what was it that you saw in the Amiga that made you ditch your Atari ST? Honest answer, Chris. Better graphics, better colour, better looking games, and the sound was awesome. Being a C64 man, when I went from the Commodore 64 to the Atari ST, I was pretty gutted with how shit the sound in the Atari ST was. The Commodore 64, in my mind, had a much better sound chip than the Atari ST, so it was like, as much as the graphics looked way better, it was a bit of a kick in the balls. I felt like I was going backwards with the sound, and then when I got to see the Amiga, I knew this was the computer that I had to have. It was the must-have computer, so there was no question that I wasn't going to upgrade to the Amiga. In some ways, I kind of felt that I didn't really have the Atari ST that long, and I never really gave it a proper chance. But I had the opportunity to trade in my Atari ST, and that's why. It just, to me, it was, the Amiga was everything that the Atari ST was, but it was just better in every single regard. I mean, I was never into like making music, so the MIDI interface in the Atari ST wasn't something that really appealed to me. But yeah, simple as that. I just thought it was a better computer all round. Number two, in what order are the following important to you in a game? Sound, graphics, gameplay, controls, story. Story, it's not really an important thing for me. I mean, I've played a couple of games. I mean, one game I would say the story did play a big part, and that was The Last of Us. I've played it and completed it on the PS3 and on the PS4. That's an amazing game. But generally, I couldn't really give two smegs about a story. Not interested. So the story's not important. Absolutely, the gameplay is always going to be the number one for me. I mean, given that I'm a lover of the old systems, old games, you know, I'll quite happily sit and play a game that's got really shit graphics. You know, nice graphics, nice sound is good, but gameplay's got to be there. Controls, yeah, bad controls can make or break a game. So it's got to have it's got to have intuitive controls. So you know how many times I've lost count the number of times I'm playing an arcade game or playing some game, a modern game, and you keep pressing the wrong fire button, and it's so annoying. Sound is quite important because I'm a shoot 'em up fan. Yeah, you know, you can't beat a good shoot 'em up with amazing sound. Graphics, obviously, graphics are nice, but it doesn't make or break a game. So, in order of importance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In fifth place, I would say story. That's the least important to me. Graphics are probably the fourth least important, or the fourth important, I should say. Third one would be controls. Yeah, you need good controls. Second would be sound, needs good sound, and the most important to me is gameplay, definitely. And lastly, I'm a moderator on the website www.mameaddicts.com. That's www.mameaddicts.com. Can I get us a free plug? And have you ever visited the site? I've never visited the site, Chris, but I'm going to go and check it out. And as far as getting a free plug, forget it. I'm not that type of channel. www.mameaddicts.com. Yeah, I'm going to go and visit it. So you're a moderator. I mean, you need to come on there and give you some abuse. But anyway, listen, Chris, thanks very much for the questions, buddy. Next up, Mr. Ian Hunter. I'm pretty sure you mentioned that you had a Commodore VIC 20 carrying dust in the loft. I do indeed, Ian. When was the last time you booted the VIC? Other than to get it out the road. Go on, beat it. The reason for this question, Alan, is that I know you're a massive Berserk fan, and the expanded VIC 20 has one of the best 8-bit versions of this game that I've ever played. It was written by a guy called Robert Hurst, and even has speech. Firstly, Ian, thanks for letting me know about that. What is it called? Is it just called Berserk? I'll need to go and check it out. I'll be perfectly honest with you, Ian. My Commodore VIC 20, I don't have any games for it. I've got a tape drive for it, but I don't have any games for it. I was hoping that I could use the Ultimate 2 cartridge that I've got for the C64, but sadly it's a different... In fact, you know what, I don't think... yeah, it's a different cartridge slot. I thought, yeah, beauty, I could just plug it in and use that. But the cartridge slot on the VIC 20 is different from one in the Commodore 64, so I can't use it. So I've not got any games. So for that reason, I've never actually played any games on it. You know, to be perfectly honest with you, I could probably get rid of it because I've got no way of loading games in it. But let me know what the name of that Berserk game is, Ian. I'd be really interested to go and try it out, especially if it's got speech as well. So thanks, Ian. I appreciate it, mate. Next up, excuse my little side. See what the time is. What is the time, Mr. Wolf? Okay, that's fine. Next up, Mr. Colin Jones. Was there ever a game or games back in the day that you used to really enjoy, but you were I'll start again. Was there ever a game or games back in the day that you used to really enjoy, but that used to frustrate you so much you felt like throwing the joystick at the screen? Quite a few games. I mean, 8-bit games were notoriously difficult. I mean, my mate Neil Morris, who's been, he's got his own little channel, who's been playing a few games, and Neil was playing China Miner, which, if you're watching any of my live streams, you'll know I've got a love-hate relationship with that game. It's brutal, absolutely brutal. There's what's other game that Neil was playing, and I mentioned it before as well, Ghouls, which is just, it's an impossible game, absolutely impossible. But I didn't really play these games that much just because they were too difficult. But I'm trying to think in any game that I used to want to throw the joystick out the window. Probably any game where you would, I'd probably say it's more, that applies to me more now than it did back in the day, because generally with like the older style games, you know, you would get to, levels were quite short, so you'd get to a bit, you'd die, and then you would batter straight in again. But it's more modern games. I mean, there's a game, and I've mentioned this a few times. There's a game called BioShock Infinite on the Xbox 360, and excuse me, I can get to the very last level, and you've basically got to defeat all these. You're on a balloon, whatever it's called. It's a Zeppelin, I think it's called. You're on this big balloon thing, and you've got to try and defend this thing. All these baddies are coming down and trying to destroy this reactor type thing, and you've got to try and protect it. And I can basically spend about 20 minutes on this one level, and you know, getting so close to the end, and then I die and I go right back to start. And it got to a point where I've not played it. I just don't want to return to that game again. There's been a few games like that in the past. There was a game, in fact it was the first Bioshock actually. I got to the last level again and I could get so far trying to defeat this kind of final baddie thing, and I die and you go right back to start. And you know, I'm not that fussed about completing a game that I'm going to put myself through it. So nah, it's generally more modern games that I find are extremely frustrating, because you can get so far into them and then you die and you go right back. Whereas, like I say, like Manic Miner, yeah, you might get to almost the end of a level and you die, but it only takes a couple of minutes to kind of get you back to where you were. So yeah, I think for myself, Colin, it's probably more modern games, mate. And next one, thanks for the question, Colin. Next up is Mr. Batman. Your dislike for the N64 is legendary. Legendary. If you go into Wikipedia, it'll tell you Main Meister hates the N64. I'm not quite sure legendary, but it's possibly legendary within my own little YouTube channel. Thing is, I don't dislike it. I think that's the wrong phrase. I just don't have any love for the system. I don't dislike it. I know there have been games in the past that I've played in it, and I think I think out of all the systems, it's the one that's really not aged that well. The problem is the N64 plugged into an LCD like shit, and the emulators aren't really that good. So, you know, possibly if Nintendo decide to bring out an N64 Mini that supports, you know, HDMI and it makes it look better, then I might go back to it. But I think, yeah, I don't dislike the system. I just wasn't a big fan of it. So anyway, sorry, your dislike for the N64 is legendary, but what other systems do you dislike and have no time for? Again, I don't say I dislike them, but one system that I don't own and I've not had any real urge to own it, and that's the original NES. Never played the NES back in the day, never got to see an NES. My mates didn't have an NES. I don't have any nostalgic love or connection to it. And yeah, I mean, back when it came out, it wasn't really something I was that aware of. I knew it existed. I mean, I used to buy computer and video games, so I knew the system existed. But I had my Commodore 64. You know, I could get games for £1.99 for £9. The NES, the games were way more expensive. I mean, perhaps if I had the money, if I could have afforded it back then, which I couldn't, then I would have probably got an NES, and I'd probably love it, and I would probably have one now. But because I never had any, I didn't have it, I didn't own it. Same with the Master System. I recently sold a Master System. You know, I bought it, I got lots of games for it, and I never played it. So yeah, I think like most people, there's systems that I bought I never had back in the day, and because I could afford it now, I thought, well, I might as well buying it. And I'm like, blah 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 blah. You know, the thing is, these systems like the NES and, you know, the Master System, they emulate 100% perfect. So if I want to play a Master System game, I can load it up in an emulator. I've got it on handhelds. I can play it on my Raspberry Pi. I can play it on my MAME cab. I can play it on my PC. I've got lots of ways of playing all these different systems. So yeah, I just don't have. I wouldn't say I dislike them. I'm not interested. And I have, you know, over the last few years got rid of systems that I just didn't play. I don't see any point in hanging on to them, you know. So, yeah. Right, second part of Batman's question. Which systems do you have but find no joy in? And what systems do you have zero interest in owning? Well, the systems I don't want to own, I've got no interest in owning, is the ones that I've just mentioned. The NES, Master System, N64, which is a given. I mean, as far as systems that I've got which I don't enjoy, well, I had a Master System, I sold it. I pretty much, I think every system that I've got now, I do play. You know, some of them I don't play very often. I mean, I've got a 3DO down there, I've got my Jaguar. I don't play them that often, but I still do like having them. I think I've kind of got rid of virtually all the sort of systems that I never actually use. I mean, I had a a Neo Geo Pocket Color, which is a really nice little handheld. I mean, it's quite collectible, and in some ways I do regret selling it because it didn't take up a lot of space. But I never used it, and I needed the money. I mean, I can't remember what I sold it for. It wasn't a lot, and I know it goes for a lot more now. The reason I never used it is because it's not got a backlight. And if you've ever tried to play a system that doesn't have a backlight nowadays, or a front light, it's pretty difficult. And given I can play all these games on like my GPDXD, I don't see any point in playing them on a non-backlit screen when I can play them on a glorious front-lit screen, if that makes any sense. So yeah, like I said, I think I've kind of shelved everything that I didn't use or I don't want to keep. Don't get me wrong, I've got a bloody shitload of stuff up in that loft. Now, I have been meaning to do a loft video. The thing is, it's not floored. I can't walk about with my head up. I've got to kind of crawl about. It's not ideal. And what I would need to do is, I've got a head torch. I would need to put a head torch on as well. But I do plan to do a loft extravaganza video and let you see what kind of stuff I've got. I mean, I've got so much stuff. I've got a lot of games. I've got Mega Drive games. I've even got like a Mega CD up there, which I'm never going to use. So I really need to start kind of streamlining the system a wee bit. So anyway, listen, thanks very, very much, Bat, for some great questions. And am I moved on? No, of course, I'm only, you know what, I actually did this back to front. There was a topic I wanted to talk about, which I'll talk about at the very end. Right, next up is Mr. Neil Morris. Do you have any really nerdy gaming or retro themed merchandise that you would like to share with us? Unlike many other YouTubers, I don't see you wearing any gaming clothing. Do you own any? I'm not embarrassed about being a gamer at all, but you'll never really see me walking about with a gaming t-shirt on. I mean, I do own a Pac-Man t-shirt. My sister-in-law bought me it for my Christmas many years ago, and it's not the kind of thing I would wear, you know, ordinarily. You know, I'd maybe wear it to like a gaming convention, something like that. I mean, I've got a when I go to these what do you call it, when I go to these gaming play store, not play stores, play show things, I got my little the little icon, or there's a little picture of me in the banner of my YouTube channel, and the sort of old bollocks, and I've got a picture of that on a t-shirt just for a laugh. I thought I'll print that off, and it says bollocks written across the bottom of it. In fact, what was quite funny was I had it on at Blackpool earlier on this year, no, last year it was, sorry, and actually 2 people came up to me and said, cool t-shirt by the way. I don't think they realised it was actually me, you know, but yeah, I'm not really a fan of wearing retro themed t-shirts, not like something like Pac-Man. Perhaps like if I had one with an Atari logo on it, or like a Berserk, the little Berserk robot, something like that, I would maybe wear it. But in the main, you know, I don't need to wear a t-shirt to prove that I like video games. You know, somebody that likes watching EastEnders doesn't wear an EastEnders t-shirt. Well, I certainly wouldn't. But aye, I do own a t-shirt, but I'm not, in the main, I tend not to wear it. But going back to your first question there, Neil, do you have any real nerdy gaming or retro themed merchandise that you'd like to share? Well, I've just, in fact, hang on 2 seconds. I'll not bother getting them all down. One of the things that I've got, I mean, I'm not a sci-fi fan at all. Bloody hell. I do own the 3 DeLorean cars, which are in Back to the Future. I got these when I was in America. I think the door's open. There we are. I'm trying to pull it like a normal door. Yeah, I've got 3 of them, I don't know what one. One of them's from the first episode. Does this tell you Back to the Future 1? And there's Back to the Future 2, Back to the Future 3. I don't actually know what the difference is. See, if I was a real nerd, I'd be able to tell you what the difference is. All I do know is this thing is absolutely covered in dust, which is quite disgusting. I never really dust in here. So yeah, I've got 3 of the DeLorean cars. You can sit back up there. Get in. Other things which I've dug down. I do own one of these. BB-8. You control it with your phone. Now, when I saw that, look at the dust. That's disgusting. I stupidly thought, I need to buy this because it's going to be the must-have toy and it's going to go up in value and it's going to be worth lots and lots of money. Well, that's not the case. Like most things that I buy, I've used it twice. It is actually really good, but never use it. Other nerdy things covered in dust. This was given to me as a Christmas present. It's a Darth Vader Mr. Potato Head. I'm not even that. I mean, I like Star Wars, but you know, you've seen these little arcade cabs. I've done a video of that. I've got my Space Invaders and I've got the Galaxian ones. Anything else? I've also got the big one, which I think I did a video of fairly recently as well. That's actually pretty good. My wife got me this for my 50th birthday. It's annoyingly, you've got to put in, instead of letting you put batteries into it. Does it take batteries anywhere? I don't think it does. Yeah, instead of letting you put batteries in, which would have been the clever thing to do, you've got to plug in a USB cable, which is just stupid because, you know, it means you've got a cable hanging down. Yeah, my Pac-Man light. Never actually use it because of that. And lastly, my daughter got me, again, it's absolutely covered in dust. I'm a massive fan of The Walking Dead. I'm right up to date. I just watched the last episode of season 8 just a few weeks ago. So that is kind of the only non-gaming geekery stuff that I've got. I've also got all my pop figures. You've seen all these before. I've got how many? I've got I've got Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Han Solo, Jawa, TIE Fighter, Stormtrooper, Chewbacca, Tusken Raider, Yoda, Hammerhead, Jabba the Hutt, C-3PO, R2-D2, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Princess Leia, and Greedo. Now, yeah, I don't want any more of them. I don't have any room for them. I mean, they're quite expensive. I mean, there's probably 200 quid's worth of these things up there. Part of me's thinking, why have I got them? Why don't I just sell them and buy something else more worthwhile? But my daughter gave me a few for my Christmas, so I'll need to hang on to them. But I think that's pretty much all the kind of geekery stuff I've got. You know, I'm not a geek compared to some people. Where did I put the questions? Move. The road, Mr. Darth Vader. So anyway, Neil, thank you very much, Squire. Oh, sorry, there's one second part of Neil's question. Any tea left? I think it's a bit cold now. What game did the rest of the world seem to hate? Oh, sorry, it's a crap printer. What game did the rest of the world seem to love, but you hated? Hey, games that I wouldn't say, I said hate is a strong word. I suppose FIFA. The modern FIFAs I have got no love for at all. Too complicated, too many buttons. Give me a Pro Evolution Soccer in the PlayStation 2 any day of the week. Yeah, modern day football games, just not interested in the slightest. Zelda games generally, it's not so much Zelda games, I think it's just sort of adventure type games in general. I tend to kind of stay away from because I just get bored. I get really bored, but I can't think of any one game. I mean, one game, what was that one? I can't even remember the name of it. What was that game that came out maybe a year ago? And it was going to be some revolutionary exploration game. There's something like 22 billion planets, and you can if you find a planet for the first time, you can name it after your name. I can't remember what it's called again. Something World, I think it was. And everybody was going daft about this game. And I remember I watched, it was Chris Heaney, one of my mates who's got a YouTube channel. He was playing it on a live stream, and I was watching him playing it, and I thought, this isn't a game. This is just him walking about. There was no game as such. So yeah, I'm like, nah, I'm not interested. But you know what? There's loads of games, even like Call of Duty games. I don't know. I don't have any love for these. I'm not going to get into details because generally I could probably rhyme off probably 90% of modern games. I don't play. You know, I would much rather have a game in 1942 and a game of Berserk and a game of Ghosts and Goblins than spend an hour playing Call of Duty, whatever. But aye, yeah, good question, Neil. But I can't think of any one particular game. I wouldn't say there's any game that I hated as such. But yeah. Anyway, thanks very much, Neil. I appreciate it. Right, before I actually got these pages muddled up. Before I crack on with the questions, had just one topic I wanted to kind of talk about: the dark web. Now, the only reason I'm talking about this is because, as you do when you're watching YouTube, you get the little pop-ups, recommendations for channels, and one of them was a video popped up about the dark web. Now, I know what it is, I've heard about it, I've never looked at it or anything, I wouldn't do that, but I watched this 20-minute video in the dark web, and you know, it's what they basically say is the internet that most people, myself included, can see is only about 10% of the internet. The other 90% is basically in the dark web. So, you know, imagine like an iceberg. The top of the iceberg that you can see sticking out the water is what you can access with Google or whatever. The rest of the iceberg that's underneath the water, that is the dark web, you know, and most people, 99% of people, would never look at that, myself included. But this video, the guy, I mean, he was running like a virtual machine, so he couldn't be tracked. And you have to use a browser called Tor, excuse me, which apparently was created by the FBI, if Wikipedia is telling the truth, for like to, you know, so you could stay undercover sort of thing. But this browser, I mean, Tor itself is a browser. It's not illegal. It's just a browser. It's heavily encrypted. I think it's when you go on it, you can't. It's hard to trace. You don't need a VPN as such, because when you use a Tor browser, apparently your data goes to one computer and then it goes to various computers, and by the time it gets to like the website you're actually looking at, it's completely all, you know, it's very, very heavily encrypted. But yeah, the guy he went on to this, it looked like Wikipedia, and it just had lists of things. I mean, like is it like card purchases? Now basically, is it called card purchase? It's where the stuff for sale has been bought using stolen credit cards. And he went into it, and there's things like, you know, an Apple Mac Pro, whatever it costs, and it was selling like for half price. Yeah, it's all knocked off, but it's just terrifying, just what is out there. I mean, he went another bit, and it was like going to Amazon. Instead of like looking for a DVD or a computer game, you're looking for a gun or drugs, and it's all there. And I think they did use Bitcoin to buy stuff. But yeah, I'm very naive when it comes to the dark web. I'm not interested in it. I mean, I think you'd have to be a bit silly if you started going on to even just to look, because, you know, let's be honest, the dark web is for illegal use. You know, I mean, there must be so many bad things: terrorism, child pornography, you know, you name it, all the horrible things go on the dark web. And I think for you to be naive enough to think that you can go on and have a look, and for like your internet provider not to sort of think, hang on a second, you know, why are you doing that? yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, it'd be tempting if somebody says to you, I mean, I've, over the years, you know, people maybe, oh, I can, you know, somebody you work with, oh, I can get you a computer for cheap, whatever, all right, okay, and you think, yeah, it's been knocked off. I mean, we've all bought stuff like that in the past, but nah, it's not a side of the internet that I'm ever interested in looking at, but it was quite interesting just to see just what it is, you know. Yeah. So anyway, that's enough of that. So back onto the questions, Mr. Down the Rabbit Hole Kev. When you're about to do a lengthy gaming session, is there a specific game you play beforehand to warm up with, or at the end to cool down with, or do you just play the one game you're interested in and nothing else? I've never ever heard of that being done before, Kev. No, I mean I don't warm up my game. I'll just jump straight in with both feet and start playing it. Secondly, I have a big question about monetizing videos on YouTube. I've had one or two videos get a copyright claim where I'm allowed to still show my video, but the note says I cannot monetize it. No problem, I don't monetize right now anyway, so it's no big deal. But what would happen if I do monetize one day? Do I get shut down because I have these old videos with claims on them, or will I just not be able to monetize those specific videos, but others can go ahead without a problem? Well, like I says, Kev, my channel still isn't monetized, so I can't speak from personal experience. But from what I gather is, it's not a problem. It just means that where there's a copyright claim in it, you cannot monetize that video, which is a wee bit annoying because some of the videos that I put out, it might only be 10 seconds of music in a 1 hour video that's copyrighted, and so I mean, I would imagine that whole video is unable to be monetized because there's 10 seconds of music. So I think, and I do now understand why, when I used to watch Steve Benway, I've got to say, I don't watch Steve Benway really at all now. I know Steve's like a great guy, and I loved his channel, and he was a massive influence in me doing YouTube. But Steve's got other things going on at the moment. He's got his own life. I know he's studying for a degree, so he, quite rightly so, he's kind of taking a step back. And most of Steve's videos now are just kind of gameplays, which I don't really watch. I do look forward to hopefully one day Steve will return to YouTube properly, you know, and do like talky type videos. Because again, this whole Friday Waffle thing was based on Steve's Friday Talkie. But yeah, I know Steve and other channels, you know, if they're playing any video game by Nintendo, they'll deliberately have the music switched off. And I never really quite understood why would you do that, but I can now understand it. You know, having monetized my channel, albeit I'm still waiting for them to actually do it, it must be quite annoying if you put like a video out, an hour long video, you take a lot of time to make a really good video, and you get a copyright claim because you've got 10 seconds of music. I know Namco in particular are really, I wouldn't say bad for it, but they're really anything at all. Boom, you know, you play 10 seconds of Xavier's music or Galaga, you get a copyright claim put on it. But I think the way it works, Kev, is it just means that you will not make any money on that video. So you need to be very careful. Thirdly, your daughter Ava is a huge Overwatch fan and she loved Splatoon for quite a while. So I'm curious if she would play Overwatch if it came to the Switch, or is it hard controlling such a fast-paced shooter on that console? I'm not too sure, to be honest with you, Kev. I mean, the thing is, the Switch, the controls that you use on the handheld are the same controls you use if you're playing it on the TV. Now I bought the professional controller thing because it's got more weight kind of thing. But I do know she on occasions she still does play Splatoon using the little, you know, the handheld. But she does definitely prefer playing like Overwatch, and there's a game she plays all the time now called Fortnite, which seems to be the next sort of big thing. Everybody's playing it. It's free to play, but as usual you can buy like loot boxes and that kind of stuff. But generally she prefers to play it on the bigger screen. But as far as the controls go, like I says, the controls on the handheld Switch are the same controls you use if you're playing it on the TV. unless of course you've got the independent controller. So I don't know, but I think she does play Splatoon occasionally on the small handheld, but I think in the main she prefers it on the bigger screen. And lastly, number 4, do you think exclusives, either in modern gaming or even back in the day, are the reason consoles succeed? I don't think they succeed primarily based on exclusives, Kev, but I mean, you know, consoles, hardware, computers, call it what you will, they all live and die by the games, the software. We've all seen really, really good bits of software, bits of hardware fall over. Case in point, Jaguar, you know, or the 32X, Sega 32X. Both were quite impressive bits of hardware, but largely the games were shite and they failed. But I think, yeah, exclusives definitely are a big contributing factor to how successful a console is going to be, because, you know, there are people who are, I mean, what exclusives? You've got, what do you call them? I've got it up there. What's the name of it? Not Unreal. What is it called? What's that exclusive? Well, you've got Last of Us for starters, which is an exclusive on the PlayStation. What is it called? Unreal? Uncharted. Yeah, Uncharted, that's the one. Uncharted's a massive franchise on the PlayStation. So there's people that would probably, you know, want to stick to PlayStation for that reason. Then you've also got like Call of Duty, Halo on the Xbox. So yeah, for me, it doesn't really bother me too much. But I think you're probably right. I've just contradicted what I said earlier on at the start of this, answering this question. I think exclusives are a big part in deciding, you know, what console to go for. Because let's be honest, like the current consoles out at the moment, the Xbox and the PlayStation Pro, or whatever it is, PlayStation 4 Pro, hardware-wise are virtually identical. And what will make somebody decide to go for that or the other one is going to be what exclusives they are. You've also got the what do you call it? Oh, well, you've got like Drive Club and is it Project Gotham? Are they on the? Or Project Gotham's just on the Sony? I'm not too sure. And you've got like the Gran Turismos on the Xbox. So yeah, I dare say the exclusives are quite a big part of it. But yeah, thanks again, Kev. I appreciate it. Right, next up is Mr. Batman. Did you not ask me? You know what it was, yeah, there was a question that you asked me last week, which came in just after I'd actually done the waffle, because I'd done it early. With the sad passing of ZX81 Spectrum designer Rick Dickinson this week, I was thinking about how great and iconic his work was. The rubber-keyed ZX Spectrum is a timeless thing of beauty, which you can look at for hours. What are your favourite computer console designs, and what are your least favourite? I've been asked that before, and I think probably the two consoles that I look the nicest. One of them, I don't know what one's my favourite. Yeah, probably I'll go for my second favourite then. The original PlayStation. The original PlayStation, I mean, it's just up there actually on that shelf. You know what a PlayStation looks like. I'm not going to go taking it down. It's very minimalistic. It's got the grey colour. It's the kind of thing that would fit in well under a living room. It doesn't really look like a games console. It looks like a piece of, I wouldn't say artwork, but it just looks like some kind of high-tech thing. You know, it's just got the grey slab and it's got the lid on the top. It's just very, very minimalistic. I like the colour as well. It's quite a small form factor. I think it looks really, really nice. But I think my favourite console has got to be the Sega Mega Drive. The original one, not the Mark II one. It looks like something high-tech. The dark colour, it looks super sexy. I think that is my favourite console. Computer-wise, computers are computers. I'm going to go for the Commodore 64 because it's an iconic. The bread bin, it's going to be the bread bin. can't be the 64C. It's the one that I had back in the day. But, you know, I mean, a computer's a computer. I can't say there's any real standout one. But yeah, what you've just said there, I think the ZX81 stuck out. It was so different. You could almost argue that it's naffness, i.e. rubber keypad. I mean, it was only that size, it was tiny. The rubber keypad made it iconic looking. And for that reason, you know, it will always be something that we, you know, fondly remember. Whereas like Atari STs, Amigas, all these other computers, they all just blended into each other. They were just basically keyboards, you know. The C64, because I was a C64 guy back in the day, but yeah, I do think that the Spectrum is a iconic looking computer. Yeah, great question, Bat, so thanks very much, mate. Mr. Doug Scullery, what would you think of the idea of an updated 2018 version of the classic but slightly crappy handhelds of the early 80s? Just imagine a recreated Astro Wars, same size plastic case and controls, but instead of a rubbishy LED blinky display, it has a modern high-res mini screen playing a perfectly emulated Galaxian. And remember the crappy boxing LED game, that can be recreated as a side-scrolling beat-em-up Kung Fu Master. Anyway, over to you, sir. Well, yeah, I think as we're already looking at, Doug, I mean, I've got this. I mean, I'll let you see it. It's let me just, you know, this is pretty much what you're talking about. Shooty, let's see, shooting. Yeah, you know, there you go. La 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 la. We don't want any sound. In fact, I'm going to. Is that the sound turned off? I don't want a copyright claim. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. That is pretty much a recreated Galaxian. Yeah, it's pretty funky. So yeah, I like these. You know what? In many ways, it's just a novelty. I mean, this one plays really, really well. Yeah, that is Galaxian in all but name. So yeah, you've got that. Then obviously you've got the little dinky ones like this. Let's get it started. I mean, I don't know if you can see that. Can I fire? That is just insane. What were you talking about? Yeah, I mean, I like these kind of things. Something like this, I mean, you can play it. It's a novelty, let's be honest. You're not going to sit for hours and play this. But yeah, I can imagine, you know, I'd be surprised if somebody hasn't taken the Astro Wars case and put like a Raspberry Pi in it. Saying that, my mate, one of my mates, Dave, he, years ago, I'm talking maybe 10 years ago, there was an arcade game. It was by Grandstand and it was a Scramble. And what he did was he bought himself a little mini LCD screen. I don't know what technology he was using. Was it a Pi? It might have been a Raspberry Pi. And he basically put this inside the little plastic casing and he got it working. You could play it. It wasn't overly playable, you know what I mean? You wouldn't want to play it for hours again, but yeah, he kind of demonstrated that it could be done. But yeah, I like these kind of little mini arcade games. I mean, these tiny wee ones, yeah, they are gimmicky. But I mean, I built myself, you know, my little Pi-cade thing, which is about sort of that size, and that is brilliant. But yeah, it'd be nice to see. There's a lot of these things actually coming out just now, Doug. Unfortunately, they don't seem to sell them in the UK or Europe. I don't know why. They all seem to be in America. But, you know, if they came down at a proper price, then I would be all over it. So, thanks, Doug. Appreciate it, mate. Mr. Carol Todd, have you ever tried any of the MUS1 sound hacks for the SNES? If so, what are your favourites? I'll be honest, Carol, I don't really know what you're talking about there. Is that MUS1 sound hacks? Is that like recreated music? Is that taking music from the SNES and like updating it or something? What I'll need to do, Carol, like I said, I don't normally read these questions beforehand. I usually just like to answer them kind of as off the cuff, so to speak. I'll go and have a look at that. I'm not actually aware of what that is. But I will check it out and I'll let you know for next waffle. So thanks for that. And lastly, Mr. GTB Films. I used to have LAN weekends where a bunch of us would spend Friday night to Sunday night playing Half-Life Unreal Tournament. On Sunday morning we used to go out for a cooked breakfast and often caught ourselves checking rooftops for snipers, etc. Have you experienced this sort of gaming reality confusion, and do you think it's dangerous? Does it support the often repeated claims that video games cause violence? We never tried to rocket jump across a road or anything, so it's not like we really thought we were still in a game. I can't say I've ever been looking for snipers on rooftops, Alan, but I mean, every now and again, listen to me, now and again, dearie me, there you go, that's when games kick into reality. Every now and again, I should say, I keep out and about and I'll see something and it'll just make me think of a video game. I mean, I remember a few years ago I bought myself a pair of shoes for work, and I was actually sitting in the toilet, believe it or not, in the cubicle, and I was staring down at my feet, and the shoes had a little kind of swirly pattern on them, and I was looking at them and it reminded me of the mothership in Phoenix. Now, if you've seen the mothership, it's got the big mothership, and right in the very centre you've got this little alien. That's the thing you're trying to destroy. And this little swirl in my shoes looked like the alien, and that just made me think of it. But in a similar kind of vein, a lot of history, when people talk about, like, the Second World War, 1942, Battle of Midway, I instantly think of the video game. You know, there's certain things that have happened in history, and it's because of my interest in video games that I'm aware of it. You know, I know when I used to play a lot of Tetris, you would you could be sitting watching TV and you would be in your mind, you'd be imagining things falling down and you're rotating them in your mind. Yeah, but I can't say I've ever, I mean, sometimes when I'm driving, I'll imagine I'm in a video game and, you know, you're driving along the motorway and you can hear outrun music playing, whatever, in your mind. But then you've got to snap out of it because that's obviously quite dangerous, you know. In a video game, you crash, you restart. In real life, you crash and you're dead. So, yeah, I don't get it very often, Alan, but there are occasions where gaming stuff does spring into my mind, you know, in real life. But anyway, listen guys, that is quite enough. It's probably going on quite a long time. So much for me knocking the waffle on the head. All I can really say, guys, is, yeah, last week I was in a bit of a downer. Just a few things were going on, and I think that came across in the video, and I'd probably be better off not doing videos when I'm like that. But I don't like to kind of let you guys down, you know what I mean? But I'm happier now, and the fact that I've got all these great questions as well always makes a big difference. I will plan to get another live stream in the coming weeks. I will try and give as much notice as possible, but as I've said before, guys, I can't really do live streams if really more if my wife's in. I mean, my daughter, the last live stream I did, she wasn't happy because she wanted to come downstairs and she felt she couldn't come down because the camera was on. So what I've told her is we've got a little agreement between us. I've said to her, if she wants to come downstairs, she sends me a text to my phone and I'll put the camera offline. I can still be talking, but I'll take the camera offline so she can come downstairs. But I don't think it's fair that when I do these things that it stops, like, my family from accessing the house. That's just not right. So I will generally try and make these if my wife's going for a night out or whatever it is, you know. But I will plan to get one maybe in the next 2-3 weeks. And I will try and give you as much notice as possible. The only reason I don't like giving you notice is I'm conscious that some of you, I'm looking at you, Neil, yeah, I've got you. Guys like Neil who live in Australia, he sets his alarm to get up to watch them. And I do feel really bad if I say I'm going to do one and then I'm not doing it, and then Neil gets out of his bed and finds out that there's not one there. But I will try and give you as much notice as possible, and I know you appreciate that I've got a life as well, believe it or not, outside YouTube, and there's always things that are going to crop up that just make it difficult. You know, things have to get knocked on the head. So that is it. Yeah. Hopefully we're going to break the 2,000 subscriber in the next day or so. I mean, when I started recording this, I was on 1,998. But then, as we know, YouTube, you can get to a certain point and then it'll fall and it goes back up again. But once I hopefully crack 2,000 subscribers, I will try and do some kind of 2,000 subscriber special. I think that definitely needs its own video. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get away now. I'm going to go down and get a cup of tea before I go to my bed. Have a great weekend. Thanks as always to all the support from everybody, to all the long-standing subscribers, to all the new people that have joined the channel. Thanks very much for sticking with me. I hope you're going to stay with the channel and I can keep you entertained. And finally, guys, as usual, thank you very, very much for watching.